Hello everyone, my name is Shu-Yi. After being in the class for a semester, I believe that everyone now has a good understanding of learning theories. But do you know that learning theories are also used in psychotherapy? Today, I will introduce you to one specific example, behaviorism. Principles of behaviorism are extensively applied to psychotherapy. One method that has been consistently proven to be effective in the treatment of anxiety and phobias is systematic desensitization. In this procedure, events which cause anxiety are recalled in imagination, and then a relaxation technique is used to reduce the anxiety. With sufficient repetition through practice, the imagined event loses its anxiety-provoking power. At the end of training, when you actually face the real event, you will find that it too, just like the imagined event, has lost its power to make you anxious. In other words, systematic desensitization is based on the principle of classical conditioning. This therapy aims to remove the fear response of a phobia and substitute a relaxation response to the conditional stimulus gradually using counter-conditioning. There are three phases to the treatment. First, the client forms a hierarchy of fear involving the conditioned stimulus, for example, a spider or a dog, that are ranked from least fearful to most fearful. Next, the client is also given training in relaxation techniques. For instance, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or meditation. The idea is that it is not possible to be both relaxed and anxious at the same time. Finally, the client progresses along the fear hierarchy while simultaneously using relaxation techniques. The client works their way up, starting at the least unpleasant and practicing their relaxation technique as they go. When they feel comfortable with this, they move on to the next stage or the next item in the hierarchy. The client repeatedly imagines this situation until it fails to evoke any anxiety at all, indicating that the therapy has been successful. The process is repeated while walking through all of the situations in the anxiety hierarchy until the most anxiety-provoking. Let's take our hypothetical client Mary as an example to illustrate how systematic desensitization is done in psychotherapy. Mary is a woman who feels extremely anxious and nervous when she has interaction of any kind with guys. Mary experiences a wide range of symptoms even if she is just simply being around guys. The symptoms include racing heartbeat, sweating, mind going blank, and trembling. To avoid these uncomfortable feelings and the awkwardness that follows, Mary tries very hard to avoid interaction with guys. So, how does Mary acquire this social anxiety of interacting with guys? We can divide the process into two parts. The first mechanism is classical conditioning. Mary's anticipation of embarrassing herself is an unconditioned stimulus that leads to symptoms of anxiety, such as a racing heartbeat and uncontrollable sweating. Those are considered unconditioned responses. When the conditioned stimulus, anticipated embarrassment, is repeatedly paired up with guys become a conditioned stimulus that causes the conditioned responses. In this case, the conditioned responses are identical to unconditioned responses. The second mechanism is operational conditioning. More specifically, the maintenance of Mary's social anxiety is a process of negative reinforcement. By running away from interactions with guys, Mary is able to prevent the unpleasant feelings from happening, which in turn reinforces her avoidance response. That is, Mary's behavior of staying away from talking to guys is reinforced by the removal of aversive stimulus. Systematic desensitization starts with the construction of fear hierarchy related to nervousness when contacting with guys, and it will contain situations or scenes involving some aspect of interacting with men. These situations most likely will be situations Mary has actually experienced, but they can also be situations that Mary fears experiencing even though they have never actually happened to her. For example, Mary may want to include the item being on a date with a very attractive guy, even though this has never actually happened to her. The important point is that items included in an anxiety hierarchy describe situations that produce varying levels of anxiety, some more frightening than others. This is what hierarchy means, and here is Mary's hierarchy. The second step is to learn some form of relaxation techniques and to be familiar with the technique. For example, the therapist teaches Mary deep breathing skill to induce a deeply relaxed state of mind. Mary will practice this skill until she could memorize the steps and feel comfortable doing it by herself. The last step is to pair relaxation with the situations from the anxiety hierarchy. The therapist will first induce relaxation using the deep breathing procedure that Mary has already practiced for a while. Second, Mary will read the first item from her hierarchy and imagine herself in the situation as vividly as possible for a tolerable time. Pictures representing the situation can also be used if appropriate. Third, therapists will bring Mary back to the session and determine the level of anxiety. If Mary reports any anxiety, they will go through deep breathing exercise again and re-establish relaxation. This procedure is repeated until Mary feels no anxiety. This is also a sign that Mary is ready to work on the next item in the hierarchy. After several sessions, Mary is likely to overcome her anxiety even in the most frightening scenario in her hierarchy, that is, going on a date with someone she likes. We have successfully helped Mary with her social anxiety, and because of that, she is able to find her Mr. Right. In fact, after learning so many theories in class, I found that almost all of them have a corresponding approach in psychotherapy. Behaviorism in psychotherapy is called behavior therapy, focusing on learning's role in developing both normal and abnormal behaviors. The counterpart of cognitive information processing and schema theory is cognitive therapy, emphasizing that it is dysfunctional thinking that leads to dysfunctional emotions or behaviors. By changing their thoughts, people can change how they feel and what they do. Several postmodern therapies are influenced strongly by social constructivism, arguing that psychotherapy is a meaning-making process. Therefore, therapies have to engage clients in solution-focused dialogues such that they co-construct a positive reality conducive to change. To sum up, the reading in class not only complement my knowledge in psychotherapy, but also makes clear to me that education and counseling share the same goal, which is helping people grow. Thank you for watching this video.